Welcome back to another video. Today we're by Yonkers, a couple of minutes.
I thought you said I was gonna do the YouTube intro. That's not fair.
I did promise you that, so you're right.
Hey guys, it's your girl Mimi here. Right now we're in New York City doing an episode, and right now I put my dad behind the camera because he told me that I could be doing the intro. So guys, if you love me, please subscribe, like, and comment, and turn on those post notifications. Please comment down below if you want more videos of me and my dad. Let's hit the intro.
Hey guys, welcome to another remodel. We are in another remodel. Keep watching, keep watching. So guys, we're here in Mount Vernon, New York, right? Couple minutes away from Yonkers, New York. And you're probably wondering, what am I doing up here, right? I thought you work in Staten Island. I do. I work in New Jersey, I work in Staten Island, but I have a builder friend that I did work for in Staten Island. We actually did 36 homes. So if you're looking at this building, he built this entire building. So he called me in to do the siding. But you're probably saying, Junior, it's brick. Where is he gonna install siding? Let me show you. Inside the carport, he wants me to install James Hardie paneling with the J-channel series inside. So we actually did James Hardie siding on 36 homes in Staten Island. That's how we have this contact. So when he started this project, he gave me a call and said, hey, Junior, can you do the James Hardie panels here in Mount Vernon? I said, sure. So now that the building is already done, we only have to install James Hardie siding to the carport. Let me show you closer. Freddy, la razón por qué yo te di estos tornillos, ¿verdad? Es porque yo no sé cuál de las va a funcionar. So tú me tienes que dejar saber. Y yo te traí esto por si acaso, si tal vez esto, porque ve la rosca, va más largo. So, esta es toda la sección que vamos a hacer. So, podemos comenzar.
¿Cómo quieren las puertas?
Yo tengo que hablar con el muchacho. El muchacho se llama Sean, el project manager. So, él me va a dejar saber. Pero él movió todo. Tú ves que ya él movió todo.
¿Cuál movió?
Él movió la pipes. Yeah. There he goes. Eric. So guys, let me explain to you about this whole system. So I learned about this system probably about 7 or 8 years ago. So this system is an actual block. It would be considered like a cinder block, right? But it's insulated on the inside and insulated on the outside, and it gives you an R value of 30. So it's not creating a thermal bridging. So you're able to install brick, you're able to install Hardie, you're able to install drywall on the inside of the house. So they built this whole entire building, look up, in these foam blocks. And inside the foam blocks, they fill it with concrete. And then these little straps are the studs. They're 16-inch on center. And that's where we're gonna fasten our plywood and our James Hardie panels.
The product that we're talking about is insulated concrete forms, and this is actually the tallest insulated concrete form building in the U.S. right now. And it's the tallest market rate residential ICF building in the U.S. Okay. I think the only place they have taller buildings made exclusively of ICF is in Canada. So what ICF is insulated concrete forms. It's basically a foam forming system that allows you to be able to build the forms and then keep them in place. And the foam creates an insulation system that is a super insulating wall. It's a solid concrete mass, and also allows you to be able to adhere whatever finished material directly to the ICF, because there are nailing or screw strips built into the ICF foam every 8 inches. Big benefit of this is when you are complete with an ICF wall, it's a water barrier, it's an air barrier, and you get the benefit of having no thermal bridging. I always tell the story about, we built 3 buildings in Queens. The first 2 buildings are traditional block and plank, masonry bearing wall with concrete plank floors. And then the 3rd building, we used ICF, which is our first building with ICF. After the first year of operations of the 3rd building, we compared the utility usage from that building to the other 2 buildings.
Right.
And on a per square foot and on a per unit basis, the ICF building used less than 1/3 of the utilities of the other buildings. We actually have some ICF blocks inside the building if you want to actually see.
I definitely would like to see those blocks.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Come in this way. Yeah. So this is an 8-inch ICF form. It basically provides for 8 inches of poured concrete wall, and you can see it's 2 5/8 inch of expanded polystyrene foam inside and out, and then the spreaders are actually rebar racks. So depending on what the structural design is, you can run your rebar directly on the form itself, and it holds it in place, saves a lot of time. You don't have as much rebar tying, and then you pour the concrete in, and the form stays in place, and now you've got that super insulated, air sealed. Because of the thermal mass of having a solid concrete wall, and the insulation, and the lack of thermal bridging, and the fact that it's airtight and watertight, when you get the living space up to the temperature, it stays that temperature for an extended period of time.
Right.
The biggest problem that we had when we designed buildings like this is finding a heating system small enough.
Oh, wow.
Because the demand is so low that, like we built a building the building that our office is in Jamaica, and they the largest unit that was required was like 6,000 BTU, and they didn't make a 6,000 BTU
Wow.
unit. 8 inches of poured concrete. It's a very quiet system. So the building that we built, the first one that we did, was up against the Long Island Railroad tracks.
Okay.
And from inside the building, you can't hear the train go by.
You can't hear the train.
Yeah.
Passing by, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the last question to me is, how many people are building regular residential homes with this product, right?
It's more popular in the single-family residential market than it is in the multifamily.
Okay.
There aren't that many people who are using it in multifamily. We're one of the few. And there are some other benefits to it. One of the reps for one of the products, I'm not sure if it was this manufacturer, I think it was a different manufacturer, spends a lot of time in Israel. And I asked him why Israel. I said, is it because of the heat? And he said, no, in Israel, the building codes require that a certain percentage of every home or every new building has to be bomb-proof.
Bomb-proof.
So because you're creating this thermal mass, this structural mass, 8 inches of solid reinforced concrete, it's a much stronger home. Okay, for people who are in, unfortunately in environments where you have the risk of fires. Okay, we had an unfortunate situation. A building that we built on Park Avenue. It was a small 4-story building. The building next to it had a Con Ed gas leak and blew up.
Right.
I don't know if you remember, it was 106.
I remember that.
Yeah. Well, our building next to it was still standing. The building in between our building and the building next to it, actually no, the building on the other side of the building that blew up, demolished. Our building, it was the biggest damage we had was water damage from the fire department,
Right.
flooding the building next door.
I guess the insurance rates are always less when you build a home like this versus...
You know, the biggest issue is getting the rest of the industry to understand the benefits.
Right.
So, like, the fact that it costs so little to heat and cool one of these buildings, we should be able to go to a bank and say, well, we can finance more because our costs are lower.
Right.
You know, so we have much more available, and the lending community is not there yet.
No.
Yeah.
This is almost like a California product, you know?
Yeah. And look, what we're looking at in this market is, you know, this is a market rate rental building, and people are going to be paying good rents for these apartments.
Right.
After the first year or so of operations, we're going to be able to market the savings because the tenants are paying for the heat and air conditioning.
Right.
So if you can rent, you know, an apartment in here for $2,000 a month and rent the same apartment someplace else for $2,000 a month, but there your utility costs are hundreds of dollars a month, where here it's tens of dollars a month.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, we think we can translate that into more rent for the building.
So you just heard it from Eric, right? He's a developer here, he's the builder. He explained to you ICF blocks, right? What they mean. In a nutshell, guys, it's a very simple system, and it's gonna save you a lot of money in energy. So guys, let me explain what's gonna happen, right? So on these ICF panels, we're gonna install 1/2-inch plywood. After we install the 1/2-inch plywood, we're gonna do the J channels and then the James Hardie panels. So today is actually day one. Keep watching.